My first musical instrument was actually the clarinet in third grade. I got thrown out of the class because I couldn't tap my foot and play at the same time. It was traumatic, you know, when I was 8, and I felt like you know, music was some kind of special thing that I didn't have access to, and that you had to be special and I wasn't. And so for the next 18 years I didn't do anything, and I watched other people play, and I wished I could play. And when I was 26 years old I picked up a guitar again, and you know, at that point I just had had enough or whatever, and I said, all right, I'm going to try this. And day after day, her husband waits for her to come home from work. He says there ain't no hope, I'm at the end of my... I was not from a musical family, but I was exposed to a lot of music, and I think that I grew up in the 60s, and just you know, on the radio back then it wasn't unusual for you to hear, you know, a Tammy Wynette song and then the Rolling Stones, or you know, Eddie Arnold and the Ray Charles. You know what I mean? There was a much broader range of things, and I didn't, in some ways I was a little bit isolated, and I didn't, so I didn't have judgment as to, oh, that Eddie Arnold is not cool, you know, listening to Eddie Arnold Cattle Call, you know, which most, you know, kids or teenagers would say that's horrifying. What is that? It's yodeling. You know what I mean? I thought it was the most amazing thing I'd ever heard. I still do. After about 12 years of playing regular guitar, I was playing in a small group, a folky group, and we started to do some recording, and we were working on an album which was called Blackgrass, which was 12 Ozzy Osbourne songs in bluegrass style. And somebody said a dobro would sound really good on these. And I had always, from the very beginning, been open to other instruments. I somewhere along the line, someone had got me a dobro. It was a round neck, just regular guitar style dobro for regular guitar playing. And I raised the strings up on it, and I got a bar, and I started to experiment with playing in the lap style. And found that I could fake at least enough to make it sound like a bluegrass record, or you know, sort of a country type of sound. Really, that was sort of the start of my getting involved with it, and I really just fell in love with it. I really, I love the sound of it, and I felt like it made a lot more sense to me than the guitar did. With regular acoustic guitar, there were so many different ways to make a G chord, say, you know, all over the neck and stuff. Whereas with the dobro, it was sort of flat and linear, and you were moving up the neck, and the notes got higher. And it does that on the guitar too, but there was something about it. Maybe the neck was square, something that just, it made more sense to me. And then I also was fortunate because I had known Stacy Phillips, who's sort of one of the main dobro people, and he wrote all the instruction books for dobro, and I knew where he lived, and so I happened to, you know that he was in New Haven, and I started to go down there and take lessons from him. He was very supportive and encouraging, and that helped me a lot, you know, and it meant a lot to me too that he would take the time to give me a lesson, because, you know, even though I was paying him the money for it, it really meant a lot to me, because I thought, you know, if you played golf, for example, you know, you couldn't go take a lesson from Tiger Woods. So the people who are now here for the first time are like, what the fuck? It's kind of weird. Is he going to hold his guitar ever the right way? I've never heard so many instrumentals before, but then when he sings the ones with the words, I don't know if I really want to hear it. Everybody smells, but some people... What does that mean? I stole that from my friend Michael M. Burke, and it was not here tonight, but he used to say that all the time. He said, everybody has their own smell, but some people stink. If I was going to cover another person's song, it's got to be something that I can identify with, and that I can that has some meaning to me, or that I can feel. So like a song like "Living for the City," to me, the first time I heard that song, I cried. I thought, oh my God, that's an unbelievable song. You know, this guy's writing this song. It's like a, you know, it's like King Lear or something, but it's in 4 minutes. You know what I mean? If I take a song like that, Stevie Wonder song for example, that to me it's really powerful and really moving, and then I say, okay, it's a 24-track recording, it's got clavinet and all these other things, how am I going to do it? I can't. So to me, in some ways, it's illogical in my brain to go the opposite way. Don't try to go to do what he did or she did or whatever it is, right? But go in the other way. Totally, just take the words pretty much and make it your own somehow. And sometimes I'll keep the melody if I can, or much of it I can. But then, you know, put it on the banjo or the accordion or something like that. Strip it down and try to do it with respect and reverence for the song, but just to make it into your own element. Hitch-ups on your coffee cup, push-ups on the seat. Don't you know an empty puppy will lick anything? Everybody smells, but some people, they stink. Everybody smells, but some people, they stink. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them think. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them think. I was a creative person, and I had gone to, I went to art school. I dropped out of 3 different art schools, and I was involved in the arts. And I still love painting and sculpting and all that kind of stuff. And you know, in some ways that would have been an easy choice for me to sort of go down that path. But I also saw a lot of stuff there that was difficult for me to, you know, it's hard, it's a hard world, and it's a weird world there too as well. And so in some ways I got fed up with that pretty quickly. And so music was right there at the same time. I could do a painting, and I felt like it was a little bit of a waste or something if I wasn't going to take that, if I put that painting and then just put it in my closet, you know what I mean? Whereas if I spend, you know, a couple of weeks working on some instrumental song and I don't really play it for anybody, it doesn't feel like a waste to me as much. And that might be why, you know, that might be what leads me sometimes to the street. You know, I'll say, well, now that I'm aging a little bit, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to drive all over the country touring to go play for 6 people in Des Moines, Iowa? Or am I going to go out here and get on the sidewalk and just play? And sure, 90% of the people are going to ignore me, but some other people, you know, are going to come by and be like, that's pretty strange. What are you doing? And be like, oh, that's a song I wrote. Oh, okay. Everybody smells, but some people, they stink. Everybody smells, but some people